Hello, welcome. My name is Heather Starr. I'm really honored to be here with Adrianne Light, who I feel has been brought into my life by complete divine design. And we've been working together to bring her work to the US. And so I asked her to come on for an interview with me so I could introduce her to my friends and those who we have yet to connect with. And so Adrianne Light I'm getting to know her and I'll get to know her more. But she has done some incredible work, which has really inspired me as a mother. She has been able to activate her light body and activate superpowers that I only dreamed would be possible in my lifetime. And she'll explain more in a moment. And so I just want to invite Adrianne to just have us tune in with a meditation, and then we'll go into an introduction of who Adrianne is and who or what this body of information is that she channels that has been helping others activate their light body and so much more. So welcome, Adrianne.
Thank you so much, Heather. I'm so happy to connect with you and with your audience. And I'm so happy to being here with all of you and can share my knowledge and the information what's coming through me.
Mhm.
I would like to start with a little meditation because everything it happens beyond the physical. So first, I would like to align our energy body to be able to receive these insights with a more profound way with our open portals. So I invite you, Heather, and everybody to close your eyes and just start to tap into yourself. Just start to observe your breath, and with each breath, entering more and more into your divine universe. We will connecting to our multidimensional self. Maybe you will start through the heart center and expanding to all over. Maybe you already feel the all layer of your existence. Use your breath, which helps you to go deeper inside of you. I would like to ask you to listen this conversation with open heart and try to receive the information beyond your physical sense. Here we are all together to activate your soul, your spirit, your higher guidance. Here we are all together to align your energy field, to be able to vibrate through an equilibrated existence. I invite you to receive Heather and me with your heart and try to connect to us through your energy field. Feel our spirits as we are connected beyond the physical. Thank you, Heather, for this opportunity to being here. You can continue to hear our conversation with eyes closed, or you can open it if you feel.
Thank you so much. I needed that.
Mhm.
Uh, I just have to share. I almost canceled this today because there's construction work happening outside the house. So if you hear anything, you'll know what it is. But I just felt like, just being here with you will help to calm my nerves around the worry around that. And it totally has. And I think it's perfect that we're here today doing this interview and connecting. So I just want to start by allowing you to share more of who you are and the work that you're doing in the world.
Wow, I think it's everything is perfect. My original profession, my physical self, is a civil engineer. So I had a company which leaded constructions. So maybe I'm there with you already in the energy form. Okay, but let's jump into my mission and my story and who I am. Since my childhood, I always was open to spirituality, and I always had guidance through angels, and I communicated with them. And I never was a typical child who was so grounded, so I always walked two steps beyond the ground.
Mhm.
And after after my first child was born, um, I received 9 months after a guidance that I have to go to a raw vegan diet. So I started to simplify my diet and clean my diet. And with the years, at the end, I arrived to the state where I just consume monomeals, which means one type of fruit, one type of meat you are consuming for a period of time. And then I went into just liquids. And meanwhile, I was doing all this cleansing on the physical. Also, all my energy portals started to open, and I started to receive more and more insights. And I was like this. And then my daughter had 3 years. I received the guidance that I have to do a retreat by my own, which meant that I started to meditate and I didn't consume any food. So I went to a kind of a fast. I was water fasting meanwhile. At the beginning of this retreat, I experienced an incredible transformation where I experienced how my three-dimensional body was changed to a light body. And then 4 weeks came that I experienced how they are doing energy surgery on me, on my body.
Wow.
Um, and in this 4 weeks period, also I experienced that how my soul liberates and a new spirit connects to this body. At, at that moment, I didn't know what happened with me, although I always felt safe and I knew that everything is good and I felt an incredible support. But at that moment, I couldn't express what happened. After the light body activation, so when I literally left my three-dimensional body and received a light body, when I came out from this operation or transformation, when I opened my eyes, I started to see the reality, physical reality, with a different perspective. And also I wanted to walk and go back to my car, and I hardly can walk. So it was like all the body, what's happened, I had to learn from zero how to use this body. It was so strange.
Wow.
Um, at that moment, I didn't know that it's a light body. So I just experienced how my old body was taken and I have received a new body. And I just felt that it works so different than before. And then past 4 weeks, and during the 4 weeks, I received spontaneous energy surgeries on my body, where I felt how they are opening my head and my heart, and how they are activating all the different portals on me. When I received these surgeries, I had to stop all my activities. I had to lay down and just receive this operation, which lasts like 1 or 2 hours. And at that time, I had my 3-year-old with me, uh, and it was so funny. Normally, she was so like always wanted to play with me, always wanting my attention. But when I received those surgeries, she just started to work. She just started to play by her alone. And I was there like 2 hours like this. They were working on me, and I just saw how my daughter plays. And on the physical, it seemed that she plays alone, but I know that she wasn't alone. It was it was all amazing how all this happened. And I also have my notes when these surgeries happens. It
Mhm.
came every 7 days. And then when 4 weeks passed, then it was done. And so since then came the adjustment and the embodiment and put the pieces together. So I had a new self. I started to see and receive everything so different than before. And then I needed 2 years until I could put all the pieces together and could receive all the information and take it to the mind and understand with the physical mind also what happened and what is going on with me.
Wow. Can I pause right here and ask you some questions before we move on to the next phase that came for you? Well, first of all, I need to know how to do that because my daughter is 4 and she is so, I feel like she's so attuned with me that she like wakes up when I'm wake up and she goes to sleep when I go to sleep. And when she's with me, she's so like, mommy, 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 and needs me all the time. And like, so for instance, this morning I tried to put on your meditation. I've tried 3 times and I've gotten 7 minutes in and I'm like, I do it as soon as I wake up. I try to wake up earlier than I know she's been waking up. And it's still like 7 minutes after I wake up. Mommy, mommy. So I think that's really cool that your daughter tuned to what was needed energetically at that moment for you to go through your transition and to be able to be more independent at that moment.
I think it was all the guidance and my guides and entities who were working on me. So it wasn't me, and it also wasn't her. It's
Right.
like how they worked on me. I think they played with her also. This is the only thing, because after that, it wasn't like this. It was like your daughter.
Right. Wow, that's really amazing. I also wanted to back up and ask you a question about the moment when you were doing this fasting and then it's like you woke up and you had to learn everything all over again. Um, were you having any sort of like if you were to go to the doctor, were you having any sort of like medical issues that made it so that you couldn't walk, or was it more like an energetic thing?
No, actually, it had it. On that frequency and on that moment, you are learning everything so quickly. So it
Hmm.
was like, if I would have to say something, imagine a movie or somebody drops an ET here to planet Earth, and this ET consciously more conscious or developed than normal human beings And maybe at the beginning, the ET doesn't know how to function here, but they are learning so quickly. So they are just observing and they know. So this
Right.
is happened with me very similar. So before, normally I know how to walk, but
Right.
then after the meditation, it was like, no, I cannot walk. And arriving to my car, which was like 5 minutes walk, it took like half an hour and very slowly. And at the beginning, I didn't know how to use my legs, but then I could. And then came the next mission to drive the car. And it was again, it was like so strange. And also it was strange because I a normal human being just receives the physical. If they are meditating, they are able to tap out a little bit from the body,
Mhm.
but I could receive and see like everything, and I could see beyond or behind the scene. And that was strange that, okay, what is real and how I applicate this on the physical form. Meanwhile, I see all the different layers.
Mm.
And also I'm seeing the physical image, but I saw back the energetic field and the holographic vortex, and it was strange.
Mm.
Everything happened so quickly. So then I my body adjusts really quickly, but
Mhm.
also about the eating, what to eat, how to eat, and all the insights what I received. It was like whole new level. Before I could connect with angels and I could meditate, and sometimes I received some message,
Mhm.
but it was like I had to put myself to do it and receive it. And after this experience, this transformation, imagine that they are open the doors, and then
Right.
everything is pouring, and
Right.
then you know things that you know your physical self knows that you don't know. So your physical self doesn't know, but you know things now. I already get used to it, but at the beginning it was so strange.
Right. Yeah. So it sounds like physically you had the capability to walk, but kind of like the movie Avatar, when he goes into his avatar, he had to learn, because it was like a different being inside of you who had to relearn how to use this body. Is it kind of like
Yes,
that? Like kind of like a walk-in, they call them?
yes. It's a same experience of walking. So my original soul went back to origin, and I received a new soul, a new
Wow.
spirit.
And so this new soul had it like a bigger perspective on everything. So you like all of a sudden had like all this knowledge that you didn't have before, it sounds like.
Yeah, later I received all the information, so I know and then understand why it happened like
Mhm.
this, and it was all planned. So from the beginning of my incarnation, my physical incarnation, it was all planned that it will happen, and when it will happen, and how it will happen. But
Mhm.
basically, what I can share is that this spirit who is connecting now into this field couldn't incarnate into a normal human body. I mean, to not, to arrive as a baby and then grow up. Needed to this spirit needed a certain level and preparational field, and then this spirit was able to enter to this space.
Mhm.
And also since that time, so 2016, and I could say until 2022, my body and my vortex was preparing to truly receive this consciousness and this spirit, and to be able to hold the space here in the physical, this consciousness and this information.
Wow, that's amazing. So what happened to your other spirit? Is it still around or where is it?
Now there are different missions of each spirit,
Hmm.
and normally it's like a normal circle when somebody dies. So some of the souls not able to ascend, so that soul stays close to the physical, and they try to clean or process the incarnation, and also it can happen with several occasions. Other souls, they ascending, and they are continuing their incarnational spiral. So everybody is connected to an incarnational spiral, and through this you are like making runs and runs and runs and experiencing the same informational field through different projection,
Mm.
following an incarnational circle. And then the other option, other possibility, when the soul, the spirit, it's ascend totally and dissolves in oneness, dissolves in source, and liberates from all this circle, incarnational circle. So what happened with my soul? Went back into origin, into source, and dissolved. So after that experience, she was liberated from all this. Also, you could say it. I don't like to use karma, but maybe somebody can understand this. Uh, when a soul achieves to liberate from every karma that the soul contains through incarnations and incarnation, until you are not dissolving this or liberate those, I would say, blueprints.
Mhm.
It's like a kind of a footage that you are living in every layer, and until you are not liberated, that not clear, that your soul will come back and incarnate, because it's calling back the soul. So
Mhm.
what happened is my soul liberated and went back. And one very interesting thing happened also, that when my spirit liberated and went back to origin, my sister uh, used that opportunity and that portal too, and she came with me. So her soul also liberated.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I've been are you familiar with Lorna Byrne?
No, I didn't hear
She's
from.
she's a woman who saw angels ever since she was very little, and I just finished reading her book Angels in My Hair. And she talked about this sort of evolution of spirits, who incarnate, and then sometimes when they incarnate or they stop incarnating and they just go back to being like one with source. And then that's, a part of their next mission. So it sounds like that's what your soul did. It like purified
Yes,
and
and it's
incarnated times.
yes, and it's so amazing that I started to guide people throughout my programs and my retreats, and I received the guidance that the programs that I'm holding and the space that I'm holding, it's to liberate the self from the incarnational circle. And at that moment, I just received the information, and I said, okay. But then happened that one person who did my light body activation retreat, he ascended, and I accompanied him through this process. So the transformation, leaving the physical body and then transcending, and experience how his soul literally liberates from all these layers and dissolves every attachment, and then go back into the origin and soul, and dissolve the soul. And what I learned through this experience also, that basically we are leaving blueprints with everything. So for example, imagine that you have a phone which is now your phone, you have your energy connection with your phone. If you die, this connection, it stays there as a blueprint, as a footage. And like this, you are living. Now, I took the example of the phone, which is not living being,
Mhm.
but still a phone. That's why I wanted to say that still a phone or a physical stuff which is belong to you, it's recalling you back. And what I had to do when this person transcended, I had to cut and clean all these connections and all these blueprints. So he was able to transform and dissolve. It
Oh,
was so
wow.
interesting.
Oh, that's beautiful. So that's really interesting. So you've come to a point where you're able to help others ascend in this way, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I always want to say it's not me. So I'm just a
Okay.
holder, a guide, a channel, and I'm in a portal, and through this portal, who I am holding space, uh, a soul, a spirit who is working with me, able to do all this work. With you by yourself, you are able to achieve a certain kind of consciousness, but when you are using this portal, your consciousness are able to expand so much. And depending with who you are working, so with other persons, you are always able to arrive a certain frequency, a certain dimension, depending of the master or guidance or anybody that you are working, and depending where that person arrives in consciousness and be able to hold the frequencies through her or his portal.
Wow. Okay, is it my computer or yours? We just had a little bit of interference, but I think we're good now.
Okay.
Well, this is just absolutely fascinating. And I'd love for you to touch um, on breatharian. I keep hearing about breatharians, and it sounds like that is something that you have become in your ascension process. So can you talk to that a bit?
Yes, I can talk, but also it's here, still here your question before that you mentioned that your 4-year-old girl and she's so attached to you. I would like to share the information that I know. So when a baby, a little child arrives to this plane, they are not able to grant themselves individually. So they are using the channel of the mother as grandness, and they are grounding themselves through the mother. So it's so interesting that physically we born them, so they have their independent body, but energetically they are still not independent. And they are nurturing their selves through us. And that's why they are so attached to us. When they arrive 5-year-old, that moment they are starting to create their own channel, their own connection into earth, and they're starting to ground themselves. That moment when you will feel energetically a relief, and they are not using your channel to nurture themselves and to ground themselves. So
Mm,
also that takes, for example, if the mother meditates, they don't like that much, because what the purpose of them at that moment, the beginning, they have to ground. They have to ground and they have to stabilize their physical portal.
mhm.
And as they are depending on the energy portal of the mother, when you are going there, because you are already grounded enough, um, this stability dissolves a little bit, and they want to ground themselves again. So that's why also the normal child, they are so active, they are wanting to try everything, and they are love the life itself because they need grounding.
Mm.
So yes, this is the answer to your question. So it's so normal that they are that connected, but it will change.
Oh, thank you. Thank goodness. Oh, wow. That makes so much sense. Okay. So my daughter will go meditate with my mom, but she will not do it with me.
Yes.
When I ask her, I say, come on, let's go meditate. She says, no, I only meditate with Grammy.
When my daughter was a baby, I was meditating and she started to scream and cry in a way, and I didn't know at the beginning what's happening. And then I understand and I received the information what happens.
So how did you work with that? Did you just have to like schedule times to meditate when you had somebody else to watch her?
Yes, normally I'm doing while they are sleeping.
Mhm.
And also you will feel a different experience if you are meditating in the same room where they are. You will feel the interference of your child. When you are change the room and you are meditating by your own in another separate room, you can work from a different space.
Interesting. Okay, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That helps a lot.
And that's why also that at the beginning, if somebody arrives with a spiritual gift, normally it's shut down because at the beginning they need to stabilize their physical self, they need to ground, and that moment they can receive these insights because now the receiver is stable enough and they are able to grant this information and this consciousness and insights.
Mm, beautiful. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So about Bretonnism that
Yeah.
you asked.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I had this transformation of myself, it wasn't also my intention, but I was always following the guidance that I received, and I entered into this retreat by my own by doing a fast. And when I officially finished with the retreat, um, then I stayed on a fast because I just received that I don't have to eat anymore. And I said, okay, so I will continue like this. I stayed on water, and how I said, sometimes even water. Um, I had one condition because that time I was still breastfeeding my daughter. So I said, if my milk supply will stop, then I will start eating. But then my milk supply didn't stop. So I could continue breastfeeding my child. So I was continuing with not eating. And also, I wasn't studied before about Britanism, so it was something that happened to me. And then I started to research on internet, and I found that others also they are living like this, and it's something that is possible. So I was like this like 4 months, and then I started to receive information that I have to start to eat, but I didn't want. I had fear that if I start to eat, I will lose all the connection that I received because my activation, my connection happened in a state that I was rowing in 3 years, and then I entered into liquids and then just water. So at that moment, when I was just consuming water, I thought that my diet helped in the transformation, and I had fear if I will start to eat, I will lose everything. So I started to keep receiving the message and the information that I have to eat, but I didn't want to do it. And then a soul incarnated. That soul needed to incarnate into the physical field, and she delivered just one message, the only message, and the message was, you have to start to eat. And as the soul incarnated to physical form, the message just hit me. And when she gave me the message, she went from the physical field, and and yeah, this was the only purpose that she arrived.
Mm.
Um, and then it was that strong, that guidance, that I started to eat. And at the beginning, I ate just vegan food, as before I was raw vegan. So, okay, I said, okay, I will just eat vegan. And I was observing my body and what I felt and what I received, that although I'm eating, I'm not losing any connection. So my development, my field is improving, and I don't lose anything. And then I started to receive the information that I have to open my diet, which means that I don't have to specify myself anymore to a certain diet. So freely eat whatever I want and whatever just come front of me. And again, all these messages that I received with hesitation, and I didn't want at the beginning, but I received that much. And then at the end, I tried with different foods, and my physical self was amazed. For example, I ate a very dense plate, and after I sat to meditation, and I received a bunch of information, and I was like, wow, how it works. And of course, after this, I experienced and I've learned that my consciousness is not depending on the food what I'm eating, and I'm able to maintain my consciousness. This is who I am, independently what I'm eating and what I'm doing. So since that time, I'm delivering this message more freely. For me, Breitarianism, it's not a good word or something to follow, because Breitarianism, it says me like veganism or vegetarian or all these characteristics or box. And when someone is in a box, then you are not able to expand. And actually, it taught me that and showed me that I wanted to experience oneness. I wanted to experience the wholeness. And if I categorize myself and saying that no, I'm Breitarian, then
Mhm.
I'm not whole. I'm not oneness, because then I'm saying that I'm this, but not that. And I
Yeah.
can say this veganism and all the different diet. And then everything is part of the illusion. Everything is part of this game. And until I separate myself from one part, I'm
Mhm.
living in a separation. So basically, when I opened myself and started to explore everything what we have here, but now from a different consciousness, the whole new world opened in front of me. And since then, I'm not using that word. Also, throughout the Breitarian movement, that I'm also giving lectures there. I met a lot of persons. They are arriving to me to guidance. They have several kind of eating disorders. So every time when you neglect something or you cut something, your inner self feeling in struggle, and you are not able to experience yourself in an expanded way. And since then, I'm saying, yeah, and I'm connecting more to pranic consciousness. And pranic consciousness means that you are self-sustained. And I think this is the key. So nowadays you can see and says that, for example, I have I don't know how it says in English, but you know, these families who are self-sustained, that they are growing their own vegetables and
Mhm.
eating their own foods that they are producing.
Right. Yes.
So they need a garden or animals to be able to feed themselves. But actually, what it means, pranic consciousness, when you are self-esteem without the internal necessity. And I think this is the key what everybody has to experience and has to achieve. And what it says, esteem, that it's not just connected to food, it's connected to everything. When you are conscious enough to create consciously your own life, and you are not feeding anymore from the external, you are who is feeding the external, and you feel it in evidence, in financial state, in your relationships, in self-love, in food-wise, and also in health-wise. So if you are ill and you have certain kind of symptoms, if you don't know what happens with you, if you are not if you're not owning the pranic consciousness, or you're not self-esteem, then you have to call a doctor or somebody who can help you with your symptoms. But if you are self-esteem, you know what's happening with your own body, and you're able to realign your whole system. So this is more what I'm teaching, and this is more what I'm referring when I say pranic consciousness. And I think this is the way to arrive and to activate and to live. And it's especially connecting pranic consciousness, connecting to light body consciousness.
Mhm.
So when you are switch the level of the frequency of the self, and instead of vibrating from the external to internal, you're starting to vibrating from the internal, from the divine, and from the internal, and expanding to outside, and consciously creating your your life, this illusion around you that you are experiencing.
Right. Wow. Wow. How liberating. And just like the ultimate state of sovereignty to be living like that. I think it will solve a lot of world problems. Right? I
Yes,
think
a lot of people ask me that, Adrian, you should teach this in poor countries, because then it would solve a lot of things. But I always say that no, you can't. Every stage of experience needed. So everything we are learning, and if, for example, the nursery is necessity also. It's so important. So all the stages, it's important in every experience. And when the self arrives to receive these teachings, and if you are hearing this, you are sure that you are ready for it, because you feel the inner core, and that's why also you received from the universe this conversation. So when the self arrived to that consciousness to take to this jump, then you are ready for it. But it's so important to prepare the three-dimensional body to be able to receive this consciousness, because otherwise the building will fall down.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I love incorporating everything in it as part of the divine plan. It's like the tapestry of life is all perfect somehow. And ever wherever any individual is at is just how it's supposed to be. So we can't go out there and try to solve the world problems by getting everybody to live this way, because we need the contrast to help our soul evolve. Is that right?
Exactly, yes. And we cannot enter to other person's experience. We cannot take out the experience. And that's why it's important everybody works with her or himself. And the only person who can work is just you.
Hmm. Hmm. Beautiful. I am curious to know, there's a lot of people who are talking about like the new earth, and that like the earths are splitting, and that there's going to be this new earth where people who have ascended and evolved their soul are living now. Do you know, can you speak to that at all or have any information about that?
Yes, this example, it's created from the linear mind. This story, this spiritual story. I know that a lot of people goes with this, the new earth and all this, but it's connected to the linear mind. When you are go beyond the physical, then the linearity dissolves. And how you are receiving reality is just everything happens at the same time. And also what is important that nothing is dissolving. So the linear physical mind things start, then happen, and then dissolve. When you go beyond of this consciousness, there is no this such of thing. Then everything happens at the same time and nothing disappears. Nothing. So about the earth, basically I could go also to the topic, what is earth? We studied and we learned that the earth is like a globe like this. And on the globe, we can see different continents and different cities, and you can see trees and people and water. And I call this fairy tale. Reality, it's not like that. This is just where when we enter into this plane, it's just a holographic field. And everything that you see here is just a projection of the energetic vortex. And your physical eyes receives these images as physical reality, but it has the same weight as when you see a movie, for example. You as an adult, you know that the movie is just an illusion. The actors, they are acting something, and you just see a projected image. But maybe your daughter thinks that it's real. It's real what happens there. So it's same how we are receiving this. So planet Earth is not something that it's like a planet and living things there. It's just a consciousness, a field, a reality, a timeline. And your physical eyes projects as a physical reality. The different continents, yes, and the different countries are different, different time, different vibrational fields. So when you, for example, travel from California to New York, you need your physical mind, an illusion that you got an airplane in California to arrive to New York, for example, and then you think that you arrived to another city. But basically what you did, you jumped a frequency or a dimension, and now you are in a different reality. Also, if you are open, you can feel the different energies and different frequencies of that place. But okay, so like this, how we are going into evolution, as you are expanding your consciousness, this is how you are elevating and expanding the reality around you. So how you are evolving in consciousness, the surrounding changes around you too. And for your physical mind, it seems that linearly happens, and now we are arriving to a new earth, which is true that we are now about a consciousness in a jump of consciousness. But what I want to say also that the old is also continues. So how you can experience it, that there are super different realities and different type of earths with different frequencies, and all they are continuing. And every time a lot of different possibilities opens, and they are going there, they are going there. So this is all in the same, and this is all existing. I don't know if you can understand like this or receive like this.
Yeah, I think I understand. And I think like very simply put, it really is that we create our reality through our consciousness.
Yes.
Simply put, right? So, I mean, for an example, in my lifetime already, my reality has changed so dramatically as I started tuning in more spiritually and meditating, where, even my friends all around me, we started not operating on the same frequency, so they kind of went away. And then I started attracting all these totally different friends who really are just like perfectly aligning with who I am and the evolution of my soul and presenting me amazing opportunities for growth and collaboration. And now my life has evolved in such a way where now I'm like living in this beautiful home and co-creating with a beautiful community who is more on my same frequency. So I feel like I am, in a sense, from like who I was 3 or 4 years ago, like in a new world, my own little world that I projected.
Exactly. I can see in your life also how you worked on yourself and how you changed and expanded your consciousness, how you leveled up, your surrounding changed. And this is the good. At the moment when you work in yourself, very quickly and dramatically will change the external.
Yeah, it's so fun and fascinating, really. And that's why when I opened up this interview, it's challenging for me to even introduce myself because um, it's changing so quickly and with the kind of work I'm doing in the world and just what I'm doing. And it's really boiled down to I'm just helping with the ascension of humanity by assisting people like you. And suddenly I now have these amazing clients such as you and Adele Lamborn and Anastara Maka, who without me even putting a website up or saying, "Hey, my name's Heather and I am a personal assistant for Ascended Masters," or, or spiritual teachers. It's just happened. And so I don't even know how to give my pitch right now of what I'm doing because it's just evolved so quickly.
It's so difficult in all way because we are receiving from other realm, and it's so difficult to pronounce and take it to the physical and say who I am because it's just different frequency. So, and although you are saying something, so also my what I'm normally saying for me, it
Mhm.
doesn't say or give it back exactly what I'm doing and what I'm receiving because it's just you are unable to express through words. And in your case also that now you are in the path. So I see that a lot of arriving to you and you still didn't open your whole full potential, which is here, and you will do it very soon. So now you are in the transition, and it's okay that you are changing day by day and new things arriving to you.
Yes, I'm a work in progress and I'm okay with that. It also does feel like with my daughter, my focus has been, on her and being here for her as well as while I'm going through this process. So it feels maybe a little bit like slowed down right now. And I'm okay with that. I feel like when she becomes more independent, I'll be able to, like you said, that energetics that, is so connected to her will be a little bit more liberated and I can, really tune into those meditations more and whatnot.
Well, you are going so fast. Maybe it's just your sense that is slow and you are slowing down. But I see energetically you are in intense work now.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing about this. And I'm really curious to know So originally when I tuned to you, I thought the goal was to become a breatharian, but it sounds like it's not. And probably the goal is going to show up different for each individual.
Shall I answer to your question
Yes.
or okay?
Mhm.
So now the goal is to activate in itself the pranic consciousness, and when one activates the pranic consciousness, you are able to vibrate, nurture yourself from inside. And I wouldn't say nurture because at that moment nurture disappear. Nurture means that I'm not whole and I need nurture myself. But actually in the pranic state, pranic consciousness, it means that you are already whole. You are already perfect the way how you are. So you don't need nutrition, you don't need nurture yourself. And I think it's fundamental to arrive each and everybody to that state and that moment when you are dissolving the three-dimensional reality, dissolving all this illusion and liberates yourself from these belongings or from these connections.
Mhm.
And I could say like this, you are awakened. You awaken and dissolve the illusion of the three-dimensional reality. And this is what everybody has to achieve. This is the goal, ultimate goal through your incarnation. And it not says that you will achieve. So for example, some people want to achieve this not eating, and you can force not eating, but although you are forcing yourself not eating, you are not achieving uh, expanding the consciousness. So it's not depending on this. If somebody, for example, eat lettuce 1 week, then will ascend and will expand the consciousness. It's not that easy. It's not depending on this. And that's why it's not depending on this what you're eating. And in 2022 arrived to my vessel Anfrinit. Anfrinit is a higher frequential being who holds the crystal clear consciousness. And since that moment, I'm channeling, I'm receiving the information through her. And that moment, she started to share with me and conduct the information of the Anfrinit system, and I started to channel and ground, embody this system, this consciousness school through Anfrinit. It took me 2 years to ground, to embody this information, which is basically a school from about creation of the universe. It contains 4 modules, so you have to do like step by step. This is how Amperin builds up the knowledge and the consciousness from the beginning. And when you are doing the 4 modules, then you will have the whole insights from the whole creation and activate your whole multi-dimensional being and be able to tap anywhere where you want, and at the end to conduct the self, the spirit, into crystal clear consciousness. This Anfrinit system contains 4 modules. So this is the module 0, module 0 called Atlantis Water. In this module, we are working with the transformation from subtle to materia. So when the spirit transforms into form, arriving into the field of form and creates form, we are working and tapping into that informational field and conduct consciousness into that field. We are experiencing the rebirth and rewriting all the blueprint and information which connects into that stage of the self. And then in module 1, we are working with the structure of the self. We are working with the spiritual anatomy of the self. We are tapping into the structure of the form We are understanding and learning and activating our lower third eye that you can find in the sacrum. We are activating our inner pyramid. We are activating the whole spine, the 33 vertebrae. We are learning what information the self holds in the spine. We are activating our pineal gland, third eye, and also we are learning from the gut. So what information we are holding in our gut and in intestines. And these teachings I remembered and I received from ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, that field, that timeline was connected with this information. And then the module 2, which is the 3 diamonds activation, where we activate the 3 diamond, the head portal, the heart portal, and the abdominal portal. We will activate all these multidimensional portals, open them, clean them. Normally, a normal human being, one or two, normally 2 portals are closed. Through the incarnations, different traumas and different memories stored in the subconscious field, and the self is not able to digest, process those informations, and to protect the self, then those portals closes. And we are activating them, opening them, and entering life force energy, circulating life force energies through them. These teachings come from Buddhism. I remember my Buddhist incarnation when I was a Buddhist master, and I recalled all these teachings from there. And the third module, which is the treasure of the Anfrinit system, it's called Inner Sound. Through that model, we are activating our inner sound. The same way how you have activated your third eye through the pineal gland, you have your inner hearing, the inner sound, and you are able to connect to the frequency of your higher self. And you are able to realign the whole self of you and your informational field. And you are able to receive the sound, the frequency of other beings. It's amazing capacity, and it's so powerful. And we are connecting through that model to oneness, experience the unity consciousness from this physical self. And this is how the whole creation, it's like enters, and how Anfrinit system teaches and expand the consciousness of the self throughout the whole creation. What is important, and that's why it's important to do the modules, it's build up one to another, and this is how you are going through all this awakening.
Wow. Wow. So cool. So the models, those are done online, right?
Some of, yes. The module 0 is just in person.
Mhm.
I'm planning to do online too, but still it's not ready.
Okay.
Module 1, you can do online or in person. We will have our upcoming online event in May. It's a 6-month program, which is good because you can do by your home, you can do meanwhile you are living, so together with your life. There are 6 or 5, depending on the month, pre-recorded videos there, so you can have the information through that, and you can do the practices whatever you can. And also we have one live event every month where you can share your insights, and also you can receive personalized messages through me, through Anfrinit, that you need that moment for growth. And Anfrinit works with your energy field through these sessions. And then you can do in person this retreat also, what we will hold in New York this year in October,
Mhm.
uh, that you can subscribe already. And module 2, you can do in person also and online also. And module 3 is just in person and always will be like this.
Wonderful. Yes, so I started with Model 1. Is that right? Is that what I've been working on? So I've experienced the meditations and being on Zoom with the group. And I before even receiving this connection with you and receiving this body of information, I I too received the call to become a vegan and was doing really well with that. And then the winter came and I felt like I needed more substance. So I have been having some dairy, but mostly vegetarian. But what I've noticed, especially now that spring is coming, that these foods are just just heavy. And when I eat them, like my frequency feels lower, I feel more tired. And so I feel the need to have this transition again to just lighten up with my food. And so just in what I've experienced with your course and not even really intentionally, doing anything, um, I have naturally just been fasting till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and not like waking up and saying, okay, I'm just going to drink water until this time, but it's just been happening. And I won't even realize it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't even eaten anything today. So I do feel like it has been like doing an inside out work, like doing the energetic work, and then it's just naturally been happening. So have you anybody else experienced that, or is it my own individual?
Yes,
Okay.
a lot. A lot of
Okay.
persons says yes who are doing the programs. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. Well, I'm really excited. We are nearing the end of our time here, and we're going to do another interview where you're going to go more into your system and how it works. And we also are brewing the idea of a master class where we can invite people on Zoom with us and they can get a taste of your work. And so I'm excited to see we have even don't even have a name for it or anything yet, but we just know we've been guided that we would like to create a master class together so that because personally, I just have so many friends that I want to introduce to you and invite them on Zoom and be able to get a taste of what you're offering and get to know you. So I'm really excited and thank you for agreeing to do this with us.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm looking forward all the connection and work with you. And yes, for the masterclass already came a lot of different topics. I think we will take different topics so everybody can jump in and taste a little bit.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, we will release the date on that soon. I think we did land on a date, but I haven't even had a chance to like organize around it because it
Yeah.
just happened so quickly. So, yeah, we will definitely let everyone know when that master class will be and invite them.
Yeah, thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you for doing your work in the world and showing up and inviting me to interview you. I have to say, I haven't conducted interviews in quite a while, and I didn't even know this was going to happen. And shortly before I think it was my second meeting with you, where we were just going to learn more about how we were going to work together. I'm in a course called Ovum Course Creatrix, and it's a business course for spiritual entrepreneurs. And twice a month we get intuitive guidance from a psychic. And I had a call. I was on that call before I hopped on with you, and this psychic, she said, she's like, I see that you're going to be conducting an interview soon, and it's going to really open things up, a lot of doors for you. A lot of doors are going to open up for you in your community. And I was like, okay. And then I get on the call with you, and you said the same thing. You're like, I'm getting guided that I'd like you to interview me. And I was like, okay. So this is how my life has been unfolding. It's like I hardly even need to do the planning. Just I'm shown the way every step of the way, and I just love it.
Yeah, this is how it is when you are flow with together with the universe. You don't have to do any effort. Everything arrives to you.
Perfect. So fun. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you,
look forward
Heather.
to this interview.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm.